And now, away from politics. The face-off between Shell Petroleum Development Company SPDC and host communities of oil mining lease OML 25 is far from over, despite the intervention of the Rivers State Governor Wike and the subsequent signing of a memorandum of understanding between SPDC and a section of the host communities for the reopening of Belema oil flow station and gas plant that have been shut since August 2017. Correspondent Chika Bodozie, who visited Kula Kingdom recently, reports that there seems to be no end in sight for the protracted dispute over the operatorship of OML 25.
In the month of June this year, Rivers State Governor Wike intervened in the dispute over the operatorship of OML 25, which has brought SPDC and its host communities in the oil-rich Kula Kingdom on a collision course. While lamenting the negative impact of the continued closure of the oil facility on the country's economic survival, Governor Wike had directed that the Belema flow station be reopened in 7 days.
Federal government is being denied revenue. State government is being denied revenue. Local government is being denied revenue. As a responsible government, will you fold your hands and allow this? I'm not interested about who has right to drill oil. It's not my business. It's not my business. I don't give such this. I don't. But when there's a problem where the community is affected, I must come in.
Following Governor Wike's directive, Shell recently signed a memorandum of understanding with representatives of the host communities for the reopening of the dormant oil facility. On a recent visit to the area, however, it was discovered that there were no signs of truce as the Belema flow station was still being occupied by protesting women from the host communities of Belema, Ofonyama and Ingeje. At a recent press briefing in Kula Kingdom, some community leaders gave reasons why Governor Wike's intervention failed to resolve the dispute on OML 25.
Some of our chiefs were hoodwinked by the secretary to the state government, Alaba, to sign a memorious MOU that was shrouded in misery. It was a contumelious stratagem by political jobbers.
Community leaders, in solidarity with women currently occupying the Belema flow station, also disowned those who signed the recent memorandum of understanding with Shell.
The signing of that agreement would not lead to the opening of OML 25. I told them that the people with whom they were negotiating at that meeting were not in a position, or are not even now in a position, to cause the opening of OML 25, that the real stakeholders were not in that meeting.
The face-off between SPDC and its host communities in Kula Kingdom had heightened in August 2017 when the Belema flow station was shut and occupied by protesting women alleging that Shell had failed to carry out its corporate social responsibility since it commenced operation of OML 25 over 3 decades ago. The host communities further alleged that their strained relationship with Shell had assumed a new twist upon the discovery few years back that the Anglo-Dutch oil giant was making surreptitious moves to divest its interest in OML 25.
In 2013, SPDC placed OML 25 for divestment at $450 million US dollars to some former SPDC and NNPC retirees with the name Cresta. The community protested against it because we refused to be handed over from one foreign slave master to another local company whose antecedents are known to us.
For its part, Shell insists that it has been alive to its corporate social responsibilities in OML 25. Having renewed its operatorship of OML 25, Shell is soliciting the cooperation of its host communities in a new relationship that guarantees mutual benefits in the richly endowed oil fields of Kula Kingdom.
I have made myself available to talk with as many of the stakeholders as possible from the community to try and understand better what the issues are and how we can go about resolving them. And whatever grievances and social amenities, employment issues that the community have, we are prepared to be part of that.
Since Shell started operating here, they have not done anything significant for the community. So personally, I cannot go against the wishes of my people. I must go with them. And seeing the suffering they have been suffering, which I'm also suffering, I would not like Shell to come back to operate OML 25. They should give OML 25 to other operators. If possible, to Belema Oil Producing Limited, our own son. If, on the other hand, they feel that they have gotten license, they want to operate, Belema Oil Producing Limited has a stake, about 7.something% in that stake. Let him give him the operatorship of that OML 25. So that eventually, if they want to sell, he should have the first option of refusal before they could sell it. That is my stand.
As far as the communities are concerned, Shell is a persona non grata in Kula Kingdom, trying to flog a dead horse with its renewed proposal. In solidarity with the Kula people is Chief Gani Toba, leader of conscience of the Ogoni people. Chief Toba insists that the people are empowered under the provisions of several international legal instruments to withdraw their social license from Shell in its operatorship of OML 25.
The Rivers State government backed Royal Shell by saying, look, we'll give you 7 days to leave the place. How? We want people not to carry arms against the state or against anybody. You have any issue, following up in a peaceful manner, and that's what they have done, which is recognized by Nigerian law and international law.
The current stalemate on the operatorship of OML 25 is an ominous sign of a full-blown crisis in the offing. With a daily production capacity of 44,000 barrels of crude oil and 103 metric cubic feet of gas, the Belema Flow Station is one of the most lucrative oil fields in the Niger Delta. Following Governor Wike's inability to pour oil on the troubled waters of Kula Kingdom, the onus is on the federal government to step in and avert a likely repeat of bad history in the Niger Delta.
Inside the Niger Delta,